All right. And it looks like we're all good to go. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Sideline Sitdown. I'm Billy Watson, joined by Jabez Villarreal of the Rio Hondo Bobcats, Daniel Renza, Fort Isabel Tarpon, Dorian Hernandez of the Ferry Alliance. We're waiting on Gus Sanchez from Hidalgo. Reports are saying he's still asleep, so hoping the guy will wake up. Otherwise, we got a good show for y'all. The Fab Four, as they call them, from the RGV Lakers. Guys, how are we doing today?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. All right, guys. So obviously, it's not the elephant in the room, but how are we doing during these tough times? Obviously, we can't go anywhere or hang out with anyone, but how are you guys communicating with each other, or have y'all talked to each other ever since the last game y'all played, or what's up with that?
Before quarantine, we were actually together for a couple of days. You know, we had a sleepover or whatnot, and then all this quarantine happened with coronavirus. But we keep in touch with like FaceTiming and group chatting and all that, and playing video games together.
Yeah, COD.
COD. Who's the best out of y'all at COD? Let's start with COD.
Me, of course. That's me.
That's me.
It's me. And I carried Dorian the other night.
Yeah. What are the explanations? I'd like to hear this. Dorian, why do you think you're the best?
I mean, because I stay on, like, I play I play longer than they do. Like, I play all the time compared to they do. So I think I'd be better.
Okay. Daniel?
I mean, I hustle for the team. You know, I help us get the dub.
And then Jabez obviously said that he carries Dorian, so I think that's a good enough explanation. Anything to add on that, man?
You know, Dorian already knows.
Dorian already knows. Oh man. Yeah. So going on top of that. Let me get down to my little list here. What do y'all's days consist of? Are y'all still working out? How are y'all trying to stay in shape, or are y'all staying in shape because of this? Obviously, y'all are done with basketball. What are y'all doing after the season and during these times? Not everybody at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jabez, you go first.
Yeah, you go first, Jabez.
Well, as I said on the last live, I have like these dumbbells that I've been using, and I've just been using them to their full. I don't know how to say it, but I just try to work with things that I have here. I have a basketball and I have a court back there that I'm able to shoot on, so I just work on ball handling, and I use the dumbbells to work out and stuff. So that's basically what I've been doing to keep myself in shape.
Cool, man.
Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much have like a routine, like around 6. I like go run like 2 to 3 miles and then come back home. I recently got like a little weight set. You know, I had to customize a little weight thing. My uncle helped me out with that. And I've just been lifting weights, working on my vertical here at home, and just staying in shape.
Nice. You said 2 to 3 miles?
Yeah.
Right, man, geez, like I can't even run. I used to. So check this out. I started running a mile. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and it worked out well. Would run down the street since I live in the middle of nowhere, and then the next week, I think one off day, and that was it.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do it. Dorian, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
You know, like, well, once I wake up, like before I start playing Call of Duty all day long, I get a lift in before. I mean, I don't shoot. I have a core and all, but I don't shoot or anything. I just like into my fitness, I'm guessing. So I just like to lift like before I start my day.
Yeah. Any Madden or 2K going on between y'all? Y'all play each other or anything?
No.
Just mostly COD.
Mostly COD.
See, I would play, but I don't even have a console. I play on my phone.
Nice.
You know me, I run that 2K though. I run that 2K.
Nah.
Well, as if you guys were playing, what teams would y'all be running as on the phone or whatever? What teams would y'all be doing as?
Um,
2K, I'd probably say probably the Trailblazers, just because Damian Lillard could shoot lights out in that game.
Game time.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I've been using the Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young, just pulling it from three. So, like, I guess the Hawks are my go-to.
Yeah, dude. Third leading scorer in the league. Anything y'all have picked up on? Other hobbies? Anything besides gaming, or is it just to stick to normal routine?
Stick to normal routine for me. I usually just do the same thing.
Me too.
I actually learned how to draw the other day. I dropped some
Oh
beers.
my gosh.
They know my
David
drawings.
seems
They know my
to know a
drawings.
bit about this.
I've seen his drawing.
Dude.
Shows. What shows y'all been binge watching? Have y'all sat down and watched anything?
No, I mean, I've just watched recent movies. Like recently I watched all the Star Wars movies recently. Like I went on a marathon with that. So
Are y'all fans of Star Wars as well?
Oh, he is. I don't know. He tried to get me into it, but
he tried putting all of us on.
I feel that, dude. I don't know. Dorian, what do you see? What do you see in Star Wars? Or where did this guy go? There he is.
I'm sorry. I think my favorite, what I got into Star Wars was Anakin, how his story, like how him and Obi-Wan fight and all. I think that's what caught me, got my eye, and how he goes to the dark side and whatnot, and how he's supposed to be the best, the most powerful Jedi ever, but he goes that he's trying to prevent or whatever, and but yeah, that's it. I think that's what got me Anakin Skywalker.
Cool, man. We'll switch gears a little bit. Before we get into basketball, I do want to talk about football. Dorian, obviously, you guys had one of the most stellar seasons this past year, going undefeated in district, beating Lavernia in the first round, and then I don't want to say getting mauled by Liberty Hill, but that's what happened. That's just what happens when you play next level teams. Talk about your experience in the year, and I know you had a lot of troubles and you had a couple of injuries to deal with. Just talk about the ups and downs of the season you had in the undefeated season.
My senior year for football was one to remember. Being only the undefeated team in La Feria and being able to do that, to open eyes for the younger kids and for La Feria, as a community. It was really fun. This last year, I got closer to a lot of friends that I didn't really talk to this year. I made countless memories with them, and it didn't end up going our way at the end, but I feel like this season really did make me into the person I am today, because I did go through a lot this year, breaking my wrist, and then I was in a car accident, and it messed up with my football season a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it was a good year overall, and roll pride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely one of the better teams I've seen in the last few years. What about the team that went 3 round deep the year before? I got to see y'all personally in I think it was Mathis when y'all played Needville. How do you compare it to that team?
I guess I don't know. I mean, I would just say that last year's team probably had more experience. I mean, we had more guys on varsity already coming back, and they knew what it took to get to the point that we did, compared to our new team where we had to fill in spots. I mean, we were still a good team, and we did get the job done. It's just that I think that experience was a big factor for my junior year.
Cool, man. Now switching back to your senior year, obviously. One of the, I don't want to say the least talked about teams in the district, but Hidalgo, going into the district championship against them. How would you describe the build up to that, knowing that they were actually they're a lot better program than years past, and they're coming into it with as much as momentum as anyone in the Valley in any district. So what was that feeling going into a district championship with Hidalgo and against Gus Sanchez?
Gus Sanchez is a close friend of mine, you know, so it was fun to play against him. But building towards that game, there was a lot of hype behind it because of, well, the hot streak that Hidalgo was on, and then, well, the streak that we were on. It was just a lot of hype, and so I guess like I mean, it was fun, and it was fun. Like, it was a really like close game. Like, it was closer than I thought it would be, and props to Hidalgo for that, because they have done a lot in these past couple of years from turning the program around and being the top 2 teams in the district from coming down from the bottom. But yeah, like I said, it was a lot of hype around it, and it was exciting. And, you know, it was one of the most talked about games this year in the Valley, and it was fun playing against one of my best friends.
Yeah, and continuing on that, y'all, it seemed that y'all had a mutual respect, and I would have liked to get Gus's perspective on this, but can you talk about the mutual respect? Like you said, Gus is a friend to all of you guys since y'all played on the same team for basketball in the travel season with the RGV Lakers. Just go ahead and talk about that mutual respect you guys had, maybe after or even before that game.
You know, I mean, I've always respected an opponent, because you never know like what's gonna happen. Like if we're gonna have an off day or if they're gonna have a really great day. Like anything can happen at any given moment. And like I said, Hidalgo was a really good team this year, and they worked hard for it, and they really did want that district title last year since we got it at their house. So I mean, they're really working to come kick us off our throne. And props to them for all the hard work they did, and just a lot of respect towards them. You know, I know a lot of guys from over there, so I'm really close to guys from over there too. So I did respect them a lot, you know, on and off the field, and it was really fun.
Well said, man. All right, now we're gonna get to everybody back in the group here. Back to you guys are part of the travel team RGV Lakers. I want to ask for each of y'all, what was y'all's? How did y'all get started with the RGV Lakers? Who was gotten in first, and then what was kind of the drive to get all y'all on the same team?
Well, at first it was just me and Daniel, like before last year, and so at the beginning of last season, off season ball, we were looking for players, so we were kind of like on a search for players, and so we ended up texting Dorian, me and Daniel, and then we ended up getting him on board. And then Dorian was like, "Oh, what about Gus Sanchez?" So then he was the one that helped us get Gus on the team also. So then that brought us all together.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like it was kind of a 32-4A all-star team that y'all kind of formed. So yeah, it's kind of weird how that happened.
Yeah.
Or was that even planned? Was that the plan? Did you all just know each other?
Well, we didn't really know each other like that yet, but I mean, I guess it was a plan.
Yeah, like me and Jabez, we've been always close, you know, like because we started pretty much this whole thing. But then, like, once we got Dorian in, and then he got Gus in, like, we just built that bond, you know, like, because we knew how good everybody was, because, you know, district and stuff. So we just built that bond.
So with y'all playing tournaments, how was it to play on the same team? Did that kind of help grow y'all's chemistry heading into actual basketball season? Just talk about how nice it was to play on the same team.
Man, it was fun. I don't know about y'all, but I had fun.
It really was a lot of fun. Like playing with these guys, you know, like it took a lot of pressure off of like a certain individual to do all the work when you know like you have teammates that are just as like probably better than you or just as good that can help you like carry the load or like do anything like you can. So it was pretty fun playing like with them and, you know, creating this bond that I have with them now. And it was pretty like it was fun, and we would just dominate teams, and it was just a great feeling.
Yeah, Daniel, that you have anything to add onto that?
Yeah, I mean,
man, a few words.
like Dorian said, I mean, we knew anybody could score the ball at any time. So, I mean, especially when someone was feeling it like Gus, like, man, that guy could shoot lights out. So, I mean, just with him shooting, like, I mean, everybody could shoot on the team, right? But like, yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody could score, so it took a lot of pressure off of everybody's shoulder. And then the bond, like in the hotels and all that, like all that was just fun.
Cool. So, all right, now we're heading into August, September. Football's getting it done. Dorian's getting it done. Then we get to basketball season. Obviously, Dorian had some personal reasons, but you guys, Jabez and Daniel and Gus, had both stellar seasons. Before I want to get to that, how was y'all's relationship heading into this season? I know it was kind of said that you guys had a good chemistry during the summer, but did y'all want to switch it up and maybe have your little conflicts and rivalries still, or what was y'all's relationship like when basketball season came around?
Well, we still stay tied together. Like we would keep in contact with each other, but we would just, we're friends, but like on the court, we just gotta go at each other, and it's kind of fun because we kind of knew what we would do. Because like we would play each other all the time in practice. We would train against each other. We would get ourselves better. So I mean, it was just fun to play against them.
And Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, we stayed in touch all the time. I know when Dorian was playing, we all met up at the Hidalgo tournament and stuff. So like we got together there, and then, but yeah, I mean, there was no bad blood. I mean, obviously in the game, like, we wanted to go at each other because we each wanted to win. But I mean, we still stayed in touch, and just made sure everybody was good. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sweet. I'm gonna go a little bit more individually now. So Jabez, obviously, actually the three of y'all, Jabez, Daniel, and Gus, were named to the all region team. Jabez was the offensive player of the year and the star player of the year as well. Daniel made first team all district, and Gus was back-to-back MVP. Talk about y'all's journeys and how far you've come. I know a little bit of Jabez. He's gone to camps, and Daniel, I don't know much about you guys, but talk about y'all's journeys and the awards, how they stacked up to where they've gotten to how they've gotten to you guys.
I mean, it's crazy, it's hard to believe. Like, since I was a little kid, like I wasn't really much of a basketball. Like I always played basketball, but I like played multiple sports.
Mm-hmm.
But then like once I got to like my freshman year, like I grew and stuff. So like I kind of like wanted to play basketball more, and like then like after my sophomore year, like that's where I kind of like not blew up, I want to say, but like that's where like my name got noticed more. So like it was just starting to show like my hard work was paying off and stuff. So like it's crazy how much I've grown to the player I am today.
Mm-hmm. Jabez?
I could say the same. I used to be like a multi-sport athlete, sort of. Like when I was younger, I would play all the sports. And I remember there was this one time where I was just like so fed up with it because my siblings would get to do more stuff than me, and I was kind of like jealous. So I told my mom that I wanted like a break off. I regret that, because after that I kind of like I gained some weight a little bit, and then I wanted to get back in it, and it was just tough for me. So like in the junior high years, I would play football and basketball, and then after those years, I just wanted to focus on basketball because I grew some, and I was like, I could do something with it. So that's when I went to polo, and that's when I started training, and I started focusing on basketball from there.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Talk about y'all's relationship with Bolo Sanchez. He's the coach of the RGV Lakers and the girls team as well. Quickly talk about y'all's relationship with him.
Well, to me, he's like another father to me, because I would always go to him like 2 or 3 times a week, and always sharpen up my skills and keep everything like how it's supposed to be.
Daniel?
Dorian?
Oh, me? Okay. Well, I mean, like Polo's has a special place in my heart. Like, and the coach has never driven me as hard as Polo has, and knowing him for this short period of time of a year, he has done a lot for me and my family. And I'm thankful for Polo coming into my life and being a coach. He has helped me sharpen my skills as a basketball player and as a young adult. He has given me advice on and off the court, and like I said, I'm truly thankful for Polo coming into my life.
And Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, like Jabez said, he's like another father figure. I mean, he's always there for us when we need him for anything. I mean, we can text him whenever we want and stuff. So, like, I mean, I appreciate everything he's done for us and stuff. So, like, I mean, hopefully, we make it big one day and just come back and help him and his family out, just like he helped us out when we were young. So, I mean, I appreciate everything he's done for us.
Nice. Good. Well said, boys. One of the things I did want to talk about was y'all's individual seasons. Port Isabel, obviously, twice in the last 3 years, going to I think it was the Sweet 16, if I'm not mistaken, right, Daniel?
Third round.
Third round.
Regional quarterfinals.
Regional quarterfinals, you're right, correct. Yeah. And then Jabez, obviously, Real Hondo making the playoffs for the first time in I think about 4 or 5 years. Just talk about. I'm gonna start with Jabez. Talk about getting back to the playoffs, and I know y'all lost to a good sitting team. That's the team I actually lost to in high school too. Sad. But Jabez, go ahead and talk about getting to get a playoff game in before your season ended.
It was good. It's something that I had worked for 4 years. So actually, it was a good accomplishment for me, and I think it'll help like boost the program to want to, I don't know, give them confidence, I guess, so they can look up to me or something, so they can have something to look up to. And I think it would just boost up the Rojondo basketball program. That's about it.
Yeah. And then Daniel, to go ahead and talk about you guys' run. It seems like every time playoffs comes around, it seems like Hidalgo is going to be the only one, since 4A is a really stacked district and with the only limitation with 4A teams in the Valley. Talk about Port Isabel and y'all's resilience. It's just kind of always a surprise almost that Port Isabel makes it to the third round twice in 3 years. So go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, like my sophomore year, the first year we reached to the third round, like ever. I mean, yeah, it shocked everybody. I mean, we even shocked ourselves because like we weren't really like paying attention, like we were just out there playing basketball and stuff. And then like we knew like the next year, my junior year coming in, like we had a lot of high expectations. And I mean, unfortunately we didn't, advance in the playoffs. We lost in the first round to Sinton. And then I mean, just my senior year this year when we went to the third round, like we had like new guys coming in and stuff. Like we had a young team. There was only 3 of us seniors. And so like, I mean, every game we just said like, you know what, like we don't want it to be our last game. So we just went out there and just hooped. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I mean, I guess you can say we built like a good little legacy here in PA, because now like everywhere I go, I see all these kids playing basketball instead of football mostly. I mean, because I mean the football program here has been good for a very long time, and now it's pretty much just turning into like a basketball school, I guess you could say.
And Dorian, what's been your role in this? I know you and your parents have been wanting to go support. So what's it like being in a supporting role in this?
Being in the supporting, like not played a sport that I played my whole life, but supporting my friends, like it was amazing to see, because I want them to succeed, and I knew they had the potential to succeed. And going to their games, knowing like expecting like them to do certain moves, or like knowing when they're gonna do a certain move, like I played with them and create that bond. Like I know when they're gonna dominate someone, or like I know when they're gonna just take over. And it was amazing to watch them, especially in playoffs. I wasn't able to make Jabez's game, unfortunately, because of baseball, but I made some of Daniel's, and I made Gus's fourth round one and or third round one. And like it was fun, and I actually brought Jabez along with me to Daniel's and Gus's third round game, and we made it in the same night. And they were playing at the same time, and 30 minutes away. So I mean, we really had to rush to the other game, and it was fun. Like, you know, supporting my friends, and you know, one ended up going home sadly, and you know, we were there for him, and and we celebrated with our other friend, and it was just amazing.
So I want to talk about Gus a little bit. Obviously the back-to-back 32 4A MVP. Talk about what kind of an athlete he's been. I know he's played football and he stars on the basketball team. He plays for his dad. I want to get y'all's perspective on how is it like to play against him.
He's goated.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, you could tell you could tell all the hard work that he's put in, you know. And his dad's a real good coach. I mean, it's amazing how you can have a coach and your dad like playing with each other, you know, or like you can have your son playing for you. This is real
And
cool.
did y'all say that y'all were able to make it out to one of his games? Is that right?
Yeah, the third round.
The third round.
I went to his 4th round game.
How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I mean, they should have won that game. But, you know, they were just a little off. But I mean, give them a lot of credit. You know, they represented our district very well, and I mean, that's all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm. And I want to touch on that also. 4A is typically the right in the middle of the small schools and the large schools. Though there aren't a lot of 4As in this area, what does it kind of say about this district with you guys making the playoff? What does it say about this district? I don't know how to word it, but what does it say about the strength and attention that y'all's district should and could get, if that makes sense?
I want to say we're very underrated because we got a lot of talent in our district, but some people just don't notice it that well. But yeah, we're very underrated, and we can pretty much compete with anybody. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
What do y'all think, Jay, Bez, and Dorian?
Yeah, definitely overlooked.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I'm gonna go something about my like they said, like our district really is overlooked. Like it's underrated. Like we do have some like phenomenal athletes. Like my 3 best friends right here. You know, I would hate to play these 3 guys. Like I hated it because I knew it was gonna be a tough game. Not just in basketball, but baseball and football. I feel like 4A is overlooked and is not, I guess, as respected as it should be.
Cool. All right. Before we wrap this up and we can give y'all shout outs, I want to ask one question. I'm kind of stuck in this too. When was the last time y'all got a haircut?
Oh,
And I know Dorian's got this thing going on with the curly hair.
Man, for me, it's been like probably a month.
A month, and I know you like to get you like to
Yeah.
keep your nice. I know you
Yes.
do.
It hurts.
How about everybody else?
It really hurts me.
To be honest, I don't even remember my last haircut. To be honest,
Oh my God.
I know. I mean, it was before quarantine, obviously, but yeah, it really sucks without getting a haircut.
Yeah, I feel that.
Last time I got a haircut, it was before the 1st round game. Yeah.
Hey, you.
Man, dude. I mean, well, I hope we all stay safe, man. I hope we can all get a haircut soon. Again, before we wrap this up, are there any shout outs y'all want to give before we sign off?
I'm good.
You're good.
Well, to Gus.
Yeah, shout out Gus.
Shout out to Gus. He couldn't be here with us today because he's probably he's asleep, but shout out to that guy.
Shout out to my family, you know, they're in the other room, but shout out to them. Shout out to my dad, he's up in Austin. And shout out Coach Polo too. I mean, he's been there with us pretty much our teenage years, so shout out to him. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Jabez?
Shout out to my family. Shout out to Coach, and that's pretty much it. I'm thankful for all these people for helping me on this long journey.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. We're gonna have one more show. Kevin's gonna be on at 5:00 with Coach from South San Antonio. So he'll be on later at 5:00. I'd like to thank Dorian, Jabez, and Daniel for joining in on the Sideline Sit Down. I appreciate you guys. It was fun watching you guys game and knowing y'all. Wish Gus was here. Shout out to Gus. I know I might have played against him, and I know how tough. I know we all know how tough Hidalgo can be. So shout out to him. Wish he was on. Maybe we'll get him on. We'll see what we can do. But again, thank you guys for joining in. Thank you fans for joining us, and we'll see you again at 5. Take care, guys. Be safe.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you. See you.